nerve-wracking, frustrating was your crash a couple weeks ago?
It was very frustrating, I think, because whenever something like that's out of your control, it can be frustrating and kind of think, why, what the heck. But I think I've done a lot of, kind of coming back and realizing, kind of like realigning why I do what I do and how I can help my team in any way I can. And when it's a different role, that's kind of something that I've always talked about and like living for, is I'm here just to help my team any way I can. So I feel like this was something that was able for me to like reestablish that.
Well, were you able to gain your perspective from the sidelines and learn anything about how the team's operating while you were on the bench watching them?
Yeah, I think we can just, it's always great to see how much energy we can bring on the sideline. And I feel like I'm somebody that's always kind of very energy driven during games. I'm kind of a weirdo, so I feel like it was really fun to get to have that perspective. And so it was really great to, be a great teammate in any way I could.
What's it been like to have Jordan in practice the last couple of days?
It's been great.
Is it Coach Larson or is it Jordan?
Oh, it's Jordan. Sorry. Yeah. We call our assistant coaches by their first name, and then coach is just coach. But it's been really great, having her as our kind of like our almost outside hitters, very focused coach, because it's great how we all have our position coaches, although like coach being our outside position coach, sometimes he has to be more focused on the bigger picture. And so now having Jordan here, who is pretty much here to specifically focus on us, that's been really good for us.
Anything specifically that she said or that stood out to you that's made you think that she's brought to the table?
She's just very knowledgeable in the game of just bringing her experience through her years. So something that I personally been working on is being very quiet with my serve receive, because sometimes there can be a lot of extra movement, and so even just getting to watch her pass on video has been something that's helped me a lot.
How beneficial was it for you to be able to Zoom with her over the summer, the last few months, and already have a relationship with her before she got here?
Yeah, it's been really great. It was something that she wanted to establish before she even got here. She's been doing a great job of keeping in touch with us, watching game and practice video and texting us, hey, I saw this here, FaceTiming us. While we were in Brazil, she was all doing the same thing of just really wanting to be a presence in our lives and build that connection before she actually got here, because she knew she wasn't going to be able to get here until, into Big Ten season.
What was the frequency of that? Was it every practice or once a week?
No, it wasn't every practice. It was probably about like weekly or like once every other week, kind of just like a check-in. Like, we set goals here. How do you feel like they've been going? Like, what can we improve on more? Stuff like that.
Yeah, what was it like communicating with her with the time difference?
We didn't do a ton of that while she was in Poland for obvious reasons. She was very focused on what she was doing. But before that, it was great. It was, easy to get to talk to her. And she was like, I'm always available and, never hesitate to reach out. So.
Anything that you feel like that she's picked up from you guys as she's still playing and now ramping up for Paris?
I don't know. I think she's just so excited to be in the gym and get to see probably a lot of the stuff that maybe she used to do, see how coach adjusts stuff, and get back in the gym and just kind of be around, not that she's old, but some younger volleyball players again, I guess, just be back in the college setting. I think it's really great for her, and she, obviously loves Nebraska volleyball, so seeing how it's grown from like a coach's perspective of like everything we've come to, even just like playing in Devaney where she played in the Coliseum, and everything that we have nowadays just because of everything that they've done in the past. So I think that was really special for her.
What kind of impact do you think having that extra coach now will have for the athletes?
Oh, I think it's going to be really great. Like I said earlier, we're each going to have like our pretty much own like specific position coach. Like setters of Kelly, outsides of Jordan, bros and middles have Jalen, and then I think coach will be able to, relax a little bit, because he'll be able to like kind of loosen the reins and realize that each position has a very skilled, knowledgeable coach coaching them, and he'll be able to focus more on bigger picture stuff.
Okay, just making sure I'm not going to cut anybody else off. But I know you just said you were like literally 3 when she was playing.
Yeah.
But what have you learned as you've grown in the sport from either like watching her film or like listening to coach talk about her?
I think just how long she has played really emphasizes how much she has learned through her years. She hasn't been the best player in the world for the last 20 years since she started pro volleyball. Like, she had to start somewhere. So being able to have that baseline of realizing that you can start somewhere and you can get better at anything as hard as you work on it, and the more you do and the older you get, the more important recovery becomes. So that's something that we've also talked about, is when she's 36, 37 playing pro volleyball still, she'll be able to take care of her body. So it's kind of influencing us just how much recovery plays into our game of volleyball, and how much taking care of our bodies is going to influence our play.
She did come from Summer. She came from Nebraska, another Nebraska girl
Mm-hmm.
like yourself too. What does that mean to have a player of her caliber and her legendary status coaching you as a Nebraska native as well?
I think it's just something that's so special to realize that the culture of Nebraska hasn't just, the culture of Nebraska volleyball hasn't appeared in the last, 5 or 10 years. Like, it's been here since, Jordan played, since everybody in the 90s, 80s played. Like, it's been something that we've had here for such a long time. So I think having her, who was on the team, 18, 19 years ago, and then coming back and still having it be such a rich program and have such the vision for young Nebraska girls, and that it is still that, like it was when she played. I think that's something that's been like really cool for me, really cool for her to see, for everybody involved.
Spent most of the season at home so far to this point. What's the anticipation level like coming up here in these next 2 weeks where you're going to be away from home?
Right. It was something that we talked about a lot today, how we were going to really front load it, and it'll be something Coach mentioned today, that it was something we've been planning and practicing for since January, is being able to play 2 road Big Ten games back to back. It's been something we've been practicing for, and he said that these next 2 days, as in like our next first 2 matches, and then obviously looking forward to next week when we have to do the same thing, is finally when we're going to, be able to prove it and show what we can do, having to play back-to-back matches, and realize that it's hard and it's in the Big Ten and nothing's going to be easy, but we've prepared for it.
Couple more questions?
How much did you feel like that K-State experience will help you this weekend?
I think it will help us a lot, just because K-State was a very rowdy environment, and I've heard that both of these matches we're going to be playing are sellouts, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be very loud in there. And so K-State's fans were great. They were very loud and engaged the whole match, so I think that experience will be really good for us going into probably very loud arenas.
All right. Thanks, everyone.